Hey everybody, I wanted to share with you today three things that I always check when making an offer, but I have to go ahead and have to qualify this a little bit for you because there are very important things, but I also make almost all of my offers sight unseen. Most of the homes that I do make offers on, I don't actually go out to look at them until I know that there's the potential for a deal there. Up until that point, if I know that it's a deal, because the numbers, which is one of the most important things, if the numbers work, I will go out there and I will look at it right away. But most of the time, and this is an important thing for all of you to know and understand, most of the time the numbers don't just initially work. You've got to make an offer that actually works in order to pull these things together. And so I'm making offers sight unseen. And the important thing for me to do before I even make offers is to know what the comps are. I have to know the value of the neighborhood. And I usually, because I invest in the same places over and over, I have a good feel for it. But since moving to Tennessee, I'm always exposed to different markets and places that I just haven't bought homes in yet. So I do have to do my due diligence. I do have to learn what the values are from neighborhood to neighborhood, zip code to zip code, and they do fluctuate a little bit. Also, the types of houses will fluctuate. I'm used to, working and living in areas where when they do comp houses, it's usually a three-bedroom house to a three-bedroom house, a four-bedroom house to a four-bedroom house, similar size, but here in Tennessee, everything is done by the square footage. And so a two-bedroom house and a three-bedroom house can comp out at the same thing if they're the same size. And we do have to take all of that into consideration. And so it's been a learning experience for me also, but I do need to jump into the comp. So that's the number one thing that is most important to me, is what are the values. Now, the second most important thing is going to be the condition. What condition is the home in? Now, I have shared with you in previous teachings that my preference is to do full gut renovations. I would much rather do something where I have to redo the entire home and put out a brand new product when it's completed than to do a light rehab, perhaps covering up some things and having to make excuses for the work. My preference is the full gut. And now, having said that, that doesn't mean that's all I'll do. I will buy houses that need little bit of work, but again, the numbers have to work for me. By doing a full gut renovation, I tend to get top dollar on the back end, and that allows me to make the profit margins that I would like to make when I do that. So again, I just want to share with you, the numbers are the most important thing. You must do your due diligence. You must dig into what the comps are and have a good idea of what you're going to be able to sell the property for. Now, I do want to just give, and I'll do another video on this, but just give a quick tip. Don't overanalyze the comps. Some people just, they want to get so close in similar size, similar style. Sometimes they only want to be on that one block. And, the ideal situation is to have a recent sale of the exact same house on the same block or even right next door is ideal. But we don't always get the ideal. You sometimes just need to know what the values are for the general vicinity for a similar type of house. So for instance, a framed house that was built in the 1930s or 1940s is not necessarily going to be the same type of house as a home that was built in the 1980s and is brick. They might come out, differently, different style houses, and one might be worth more or less than the other. And so you want to try to find houses that, hey, if you're dealing with a 1930s to 40s framed house, hey, let me find another 1930s to 40s framed house. But it doesn't have to be the exact same square footage. It doesn't have to have the same bedrooms. But when you're looking at that square footage, hopefully it's in the same area. And if you don't have it, you can stretch beyond that. But I'll go into another video someday where I go deep into how I look at comps. But what I want to do is just encourage you, don't overanalyze. Come up with a general idea. And so for me, I have a general idea. I'm going to be pretty close. I've been doing this for a long time. I'm going to have a good feel for what I'm going to be able to get for the home. And again, remember that when I'm doing full gut rehabs, I'm also looking for houses that need tons of repair. So for me, it's actually exciting to see a house that has no redeeming values, because we're going to come on in and redo it all anyway. And because it has nothing that can be redeemed, I can buy it for a lot less money, and then I can put all the money into it. And I also know then on the comp side of things, when I'm selling it, I can get top dollar. I can get more than other people can, just because it is a brand new house almost. It's just an old frame that everything in there has been redone, and it presents as a brand new house. So that is really important to me. So number one is numbers. Number two is condition. What condition is it in? And that's going to help me out. But when I am doing this, again, sight unseen offers, I don't expect to get the house. I don't expect to get my offer accepted. What I am doing is I am fishing for motivation, and I am putting my offers out there based off of what the ARV will be and what my full-blown gut rehab number is going to be. So I'm just throwing a number out there, and I'm fishing. I don't spend a whole lot of time determining what the repair value is going to be, and I don't spend a whole lot of time really nailing down my comps. What I know is this: if I'm in for the most part, a $300,000 neighborhood, I know I can't pay $250 for the house. I know I can't pay $225 for the house if it needs substantial repairs. I know that I can't pay $200 for the house unless it's almost ready to live in order for it to work out for me. By the time if I pay $200 and I spend $40,000 on repairs, which isn't a lot today, and then pay for closing costs and realtor commissions and all that kind of stuff, that's a pretty thin deal. And I'm not going to even be able to do that at 200. So what I know is this: that in a $300,000 neighborhood, for the most part, I need to buy somewhere from the low 100s to the mid 100s. And that is my target range. And so when somebody has a house that's listed for $225 in a $300,000 neighborhood, I can see that there's some motivation there, but I'm throwing an offer out there now to see how motivated they really are. Can I get this house for $150,000? Can I get it for $130,000? So, I'm going to throw an offer out there, say $150, and then hope to see what kind of, are they biting? And so my philosophy is this: I go out there, I make my offers, and I wait to see who bites, who's the motivated seller, because the motivated seller is ultimately the most important part of it. So I'm going to jump real quickly to the third thing. The third thing is really going to be dependent upon the area. We have come across deals that look good. The numbers look good. And then we go out and we drive out and we take a look at it, and it's like, oh, now we understand why this one was so cheap. Here in Tennessee, lots of areas don't have zoning regulations. It's a free-for-all. You can do what you want to do. And, you might have this nice house, but then next to it, you have a guy with a 70-year-old trailer who's got trash piled up all over the place and broken down vehicles and all that kind of stuff. That is really going to deter from somebody wanting to buy my house next door that is fully renovated. They don't want this as a neighbor, and it immediately dings the value substantially. It just eliminates a whole slew of buyers. And so you do have to be really careful about the neighborhood or what's going on. If there's railroad tracks in the backyard and things like that, I'm not saying that I won't ever buy those properties. There's a right price for everything. And, somebody recently asked me, Steve, would you buy this house? I said, of course, for the right price, I'll buy anything. And, might not be the house that I'm going to renovate, but it could be a house that I am going to just wholesale flip to somebody else. So when people sit there and say, Steve, I don't get that, I don't understand. And I say, well, if the house was $1, would you buy it? And they said, well, of course I'd buy it for $1. I said, so obviously there is a price that you would pay. The question is now, what is that price? It might be $1, it might be 10,000, it might be 100,000, all depends. Can you sell it for more than what you buy it for? And that's the way I feel about real estate. I'll buy anything at the right price. And so I do have to make adjustments based off of neighborhoods and surroundings and things like that. And here in Tennessee, sometimes we just have to get in our vehicle and go look at it before, we come up with what that final number is going to be. But again, going back, my very first offer is just fishing for motivation. Going back to my example, if it's a $300,000 ARV and the seller's asking $225,000, we're still too far off, especially if I can see pictures and see that the house does need some repairs. At that point, I'm going to throw in an offer of maybe $150,000 and see if they bite. And if they bite and they come down to $170,000 or $180,000 or something along those lines, they're showing me that they're more motivated than what their list price reflects. And at that point, I'm going to go and spend more time, because the number one ingredient that I need in order to put the deal together is a motivated seller. And once they show me that they're motivated, I'll spend more time. We're going to go visit that house. We're now going to start refining what our repair numbers are. I'm going to really dig into the comps a lot harder to see, what's the most I'm going to be able to get for this home. And with all of that in mind, one other thing that I do want to just caution you on, I mean, there's a best case scenario, like, oh, I'm going to get this top dollar and this is the number I'm going to get, and I'm going to be able to get my renovation done for X. If all works out well, we're not going to have anything hidden, and this is what my number is going to be. I never make my offer based off of the best case scenario. There's a probable case, and there's also a worst case. And, one of the things that I wanted to do is to be able to live with the worst case scenario. And if I can't live with the worst case scenario, then it's a deal that I shouldn't do, because the worst case can happen. And I just want to encourage you in that regard. I'm pretty good at this, so it's almost always the probable to the best case at this point. I've got years of experience of determining my numbers, but we get closer to the probable than we do the best case most of the time. The best case doesn't always happen, even if we we do everything right on our part. We still need for someone to come on in and overpay, or just get extremely great deals and get lucky that there was no surprises with the renovation whatsoever, and in order to hit those numbers. But in any case, I do want to just go ahead and begin to wrap this up right now. Number one is the numbers. Number two is the condition. And number three is the surroundings in the area. And I will throw in that the absolute number one ingredient is a motivated seller. And when you do have a motivated seller, you can put the deal together when all those ingredients come together. So if you have any questions, seek me out. We're over at Flip4, the number 4, Flip4 Life Facebook group. Whatever questions you have, post them there. I'm happy to answer them. Have a blessed day.